All right. Hi, everybody. Hi, Krista. Welcome back. Hello, Luke. Dylan. Hello. Happy Saturday, everybody. Arsenic. Good to see you. Wow, a few familiar names here. Hi, Jeffrey from New Jersey. Krista, our weather is pretty crazy this week. We have nothing but rain. So this entire week, all we had were just a bunch of rain. It's going to rain in a little bit, and it's going to rain all tomorrow. So May 1st, yes, we finally getting into summer. Daydreamer, hello, hello. Florian from Germany, hello, Germany. Wow, we have someone from Denmark. Everybody, good afternoon. We are in the afternoon right now, 3:54 p.m. Good morning to you. Good evening, wherever you are. Happy Saturday and 1st of May. So I think summer is officially here for us. We're not going to get any more cool weather. This week we're going to be expecting, 80s and above for the highs, and all of my cool weather vegetables are like bolting right now. But my pears, oh man, my pear trees are doing amazing right now. They're just loving the summertime. Oh, Adil, you still have cold weather there? Wow, okay. Yeah, Texas usually we don't get a lot of cold temperature, but this year is a little bit different. Normally by this time, normally by April, we already get hot weather, but this year for some reason April was very chilly. So May and going on forward, we're gonna get really hot temperature. Hello from the Philippines, Bismarck. Oh, it's Labor Day in the Philippines. Happy Labor Day. Einstein, Mr. Einstein, Alberto. I'm doing great. How are you? Welcome back. Good to see you. Juliana, your garden is a wild patch. You keep it that way to have food for the bunnies. That's great. They do love wild patches. It gives them a place to hide, and they may have babies very soon. This is the season right now. I see a few babies running around in my yard already. I don't know if it was born there or it just came to the garden after it was born. But yeah, I saw two bunnies already in the past week. Wow, 100 in Vegas already. That's just crazy. Hello, Robin from Sudan. Hello, hello. So as I mentioned earlier, my cool weather vegetables are all bolting. So I grew a ton of Chinese cabbages. Man, right now they are enormous, and I have to harvest them all. And what I should have done was space them out, like 2 to 3 weeks. But I didn't do that. I started the seeds at the same time, and now I have to pick like maybe 20 heads of cabbages, and I don't know what to do with them. I've been bringing it to my parents' house, and hopefully my parents will give them to other people. And then I have 7 heads of cabbages that was grown in hydroponic, and I have to harvest them very soon because they're going to bolt very soon. So I got to get them. Yeah, my neighbor for sure. You hear I just put my baby to sleep, and he's still playing in his crib. It takes him a minute to fall asleep, so he's probably just playing there right now. Juliana, you would love to learn how to grow vegetables. Depending on what you want to grow, some vegetables are pretty easy. Just uh, keep things really simple. Mix a nice mixture of soil. Put the vegetable in. I think when growing vegetable, the most important thing to know is what type of vegetable grow what best in what season. So if, like for example, if you want to grow Chinese cabbage, they prefer the cool weather. So if you grow them in the summer, they're not going to work well unless you pick a variety of cabbages that is uh, for summer season. So yeah, growing vegetables is a lot of fun. It could be easy if you just keep it simple. Yeah, I love Chinese cabbages. I mean, you can use it in so many ways. We make soups, we stir fry, and we also make pickle or kimchi. Kimchi is amazing. You guys, you have to make some kimchi with Chinese cabbage. It's awesome. You can preserve it for a very long time, and you know, you can just eat it as a side dish. You can put it in all kinds of stuff. You know what? I recently found out that it tastes amazing when you put it in your spaghetti. Kimchi in spaghetti is awesome, guys. If you have not tried it, give it a shot. I love spaghetti with kimchi. What is my kimchi recipe? You know what? I just started learning how to make it, and I make it by following the instructions that my mom gave me. And of course, I don't do it quite right, and it doesn't come out as good as what she has. But once I get it all nice and well and get the recipe down, I may make a video for that to show you how to make the kimchi that my parents make. We make it a little bit different than what you find in the stores. Would I ever grow mushrooms? You know, I don't eat that much mushrooms, and you know, and when I was a child, I think I mentioned this on my last stream. I grew mushrooms with my father, and you know, I just didn't like it that much. Maybe I'll pick it up again. It may change my mind, but I haven't grown mushrooms for a long time, many years. Gee, that would be cool. I should ask my mom to make a video with me, like, you know, or like maybe I'll grow the vegetables and stuff like that, and then she'll cook it or something. We'll we'll do it together. What's a good pepper variety to start with? It's always good to start with an easy variety. I would go with a Thai pepper, like a Thai bird's eye or any kind of bird's pepper. Those are the easiest, and they're very forgiving. Also, try growing Tabasco. Tabasco is simple, and it is one of those most productive plant I have ever grown. So Tabasco is pretty cool. So you're gonna have like hundreds and hundreds of little peppers when you grow Tabasco, and they're very easy, and they can withstand the heat pretty well. So you know, as a beginner, I would start with a Thai variety, Tabasco variety, you know, stuff like that. And then that would get you hooked, and then you would grow a bunch of other varieties. What am I drinking today? I think I am having the same thing from last time. Blood and Honey Revolver. This is a local beer, and it's one of my favorite. It's very nice. So if you guys ever come to Texas, or you know, like Houston, Dallas, whatever, Austin, try some uh, Revolver Blood and Honey. Is really good. They usually have it on tab at the local places. What is the best cold hardy pepper? The Sugar Rush is very cold hardy. If you watch some of my recent videos, I show how cold that Sugar Rush could handle. But also a lot of the Rocado varieties, like Manzanos and Rocados, they seem to do very well in the cool conditions. They also take a long time to produce peppers too. So I guess it's because they're cold. They can stand cold weather. Juliana, yes. So you like to salt preserve cabbage? Yes, I do. Salt preserved cabbage, uh, like Chinese mustard. I'm actually making a video right now on the Chinese mustard, and that's exactly how I did it. I pickle them with just salt, and it's amazing. I mean, cabbages. I mean, not cabbages, but mustard, and just salt. That's it, and it comes out like a pickle. I don't know how it happens, but it is just amazing. And we use it a lot. We use pickle mustards like all the time. And so my house, my parents always make a jar for me. And then, you know, I decided I wanted to grow it and make it myself. So I grew some Chinese mustard and I'm making pickles, and it turns out really good. And the recipe is so simple. So I will once I'm done, I will release a video on how to make pickled Chinese mustard. Joaquim, welcome. Hey, Hakeem, did you see the update that I did of the hundreds and thousand tomato that you gave me? Man, it is growing out of control right now. There's hundreds of little flowers on a really tiny plant. It's a very productive variety, and it's fun to grow. They grow super fast too. So I'm looking at it right now. I wish I could turn the camera around and show it to you. Spencer, yes, local Malaysia places. Yes, I think in a lot of the Asian countries like Thai, Vietnam, Malaysia, Indonesia, or places like that, there's a lot of mustard pickled. It's a staple. You know, my parents, no, we have to have it around the house all the time. So it's something that you make that is really easy, and also it can keep for a very long time. And I think how kimchi started is like, you know, in the old days, they grow a lot of cabbages, and you know, if you leave it for too long, it will rot, and if you don't use it all, so what they do is they salt it to preserve it over the winter time, and that's how they're able to use it for that long months without being able to have any other vegetables. So Chinese mustard pickling is awesome. It's so good. You can make, after you make the pickled mustard, you can use it to cook like soups. You can use it to saute with meat, and you can make a bunch of other dishes with the pickle mustard. So yeah, I'm talking a lot about pickled mustards. Yeah, so again, I don't have anything planned today. I was just going to come on, say hello, and answer some questions like usual. So if you guys have questions, just leave it in the comment, and I'll try to read and answer. You can grow Chinese mustard because it's susceptible to club root in my garden. Oh, really? Wow. Okay. You know what? Maybe you should try hydroponic. It'll prevent the club root for sure, because I did it recently. I grew a bunch of Chinese mustard in hydroponic, and I did a video on that. So you should check it out. It's really easy. It grows super fast and it grows super massive and look very healthy. So check out my recent video on the Chinese mustard in hydroponic. You can actually do it outside in the sun. So using the solar power or the sun just to grow hydroponic, it is probably the best thing that I've done on my channel, using solar power to grow hydroponic. It is so much fun, and it's also because there's just so little you have to do. You know, you just mix the nutrients, leave it outside, put it under the solar power pump, and then even if it rains, it doesn't matter. You can drill a hole to drain excess water out, but usually I don't, because I keep my containers for many different purposes. So I use a solar power pump to pump air into the unit, and then it'll feed air for the plant to stay alive, even when it's soaking under rain where they flood the entire container. And it grows so fast in like 30 days. You know, usually you grow it in soil, it may take 40 to 50 days sometimes, depending on when you grow them. But in hydroponic, it is super fast. You drop a bunch of lettuce seeds and they grow a lot and too close to each other, just pull them out. Lettuce is very easy to grow, and also it's easy to move around. Just like, you know, dig up a bunch and then separate them by hand. Make sure you don't damage too much of the roots. And once you can do that, you can move them all over the place. You can move in other places of the garden. You can move it into hydroponic. I do that all the time. You know what? I don't even start lettuce seeds anymore. I just wait for them to grow in my grass. And I actually made a video on that. I just wait for it to grow in the grass, and I pull it up. And once I pull it up, I put it into my raised bed, and I just wait. And then you get a ton of lettuce. And that's how I grow it every year. I just let one of the plant go to seed, and the seeds just dropped everywhere. And then once they sprouted, you just pull them out and put them where you want to go. Yes, lettuce will grow in your grass. It grows everywhere. They're so easy. Um, Juliana, check my video on how to grow lettuce from pulling it out of my grass. It's because the seed spreads, all over the place, and they just grow everywhere. Cilantro grow like we in your front yard. Yes, if you live in the hot climate, and if you have cilantro, they will grow like weeds. So in some places they treat cilantro like weeds, but in other places they treat them like a delicacy because in cold climate it's hard to grow them. So I grow them in hydroponic and they work. So guys, if you live in cold climate, right, and you can't grow some of the plants, grow them in hydroponic inside. You will get every single plants that you may not be able to get. Have a grow room, have a light. They have come down in prices over the years. I mean, when I first started growing hydroponic, like a simple light bulb that is like maybe 40, 50 watts, it costs like $100. And now for $100, you can get like a really nice, a hanging light that you can grow like herbs and stuff like that. So invest in a grow light, a decent one, and you can have DIY stuff. You can make containers out of totes that you can buy, and then buy nutrients. The nutrients may cost a bit, but it lasts a very long time. So like a container of nutrients will last you for months and months and months, and you can grow like hundreds of vegetable plants. So it's going to be worth it in the end. Which vegetable do I recommend to grow in the grass like weeds? There are so many, like herbs like perilla, which is shiso. It grows like a weed everywhere. Check out my Instagram post, Juliana. I post so many things on the shiso that grows all over my grass, and I just pull it out and I put it into the raised bed or wherever I want it to go. Lettuce can grow in your grass. Just the seeds will spread everywhere and they will grow. Let's see what else. Amaranth are just crazy. I mean, if you grow amaranth one year, you're gonna have it for the rest of your life in the garden. If you let them go to seed, they just spread seeds and they grow like crazy. So I have amaranth grown everywhere. Amaranth is another word for them is Chinese spinach. They're purple. They're really healthy for you, and when you cook them, they release like a red liquid, like kind of like a blood color. It's really strange, but it's one of the most healthy vegetable for you. So yeah, amaranth are crazy. Let's see what else. Do not grow mint in your grass because mint don't spread by seeds; they spread by rhizome. So it is impossible to kill them if it goes out of control. So yeah, mint is a bad herb to grow in the grass because they spread like grass, like your rhizome. So don't grow mint. But basil is okay. Like basil, it go with seeds, and they do grow in your grass too. Yeah. Should I grow companion plants in grow bags with my peppers? What onions, cilantro, flowers? Companions plants are always good for everything. Even your raised bed or even your pots. Onions are always good to grow with any plants because onions, the smell deter a lot of bugs. Like aphids hate onions. So if you grow onions around your peppers, you're less likely to have aphids than other. Some also, I have a friend in the past. He's no longer, I don't see him on YouTube anymore. But what he used to do is he grows like cover crops inside his grow bag along with the pepper plants. And then once the cover crop grows really big, he pull them up and feed the worm inside the pots. So that you know, his results were amazing. I need to replicate that. But the problem with me is my grow bag in Texas dry up so quick. So if you put worms in there, they're gonna die. It's just too hot. So I need a way to figure out how to do that. But yeah, companion plants are always good. Last year or 2 years ago, I grew a lemongrass along with my pepper plants, and I was testing to see if the lemongrass would deter the bugs and stuff like that. I can't prove that it worked, but the plant that was grown with the lemongrass didn't have a lot of pests. Hello, Patrick from Arizona. You inspired me to try Kratky tomato, which is doing really well. That's awesome, Patrick, because I'm also growing Kratky tomato in my backyard right now, in the sun, using just a bucket and the sun as the light source. Your chilies don't have a single bud on them. Is it healthy? Is it looking good? Is it growing? If it's growing and looking healthy and there's no buds, that's okay. Just wait. It's not ready yet. So just give it some time. If it's healthy, it's looking good, it's green and it's growing, that means the plant is still at the optimal stage of growing and it's not ready to produce the buds yet. And once it produces buds, you will have hundreds of buds. Yeah, so just wait, XYX, just wait, give it some more time. Eventually it will start to bud, and then you're gonna have a lot of buds from a huge plant because it's a healthy plant. Healthy plant produced a bunch of buds. So just give it some time. Sometimes it requires up to 5 months for a certain variety, and you know, the wait is gonna be worth it. Trust me, you're gonna get a lot of good fruits. Hey, Hang. Hang, good to see you. Again, XYX also, if your plant is healthy, don't feed it anything, because if you change the feeding, it's going to cause the plant to have problems. So if your plants look great, just let it continue to do what it's doing. Doc Kratky is a genius. Yes, Dr. Kratky is a genius. You know, the funny thing is, I actually spoke to Dr. Kratky a few times on messages. You know, I messaged his video and he messaged on my video, which is amazing, you know, to do something and have the guy that created the method say that you did well with the Kratky method. He has a channel, guys. You should check him out. He's a great person to learn from, because of course he developed the method. So watch his channel. It's awesome. He does a lot of large scale growing, and you can learn a lot from the stuff that he's doing. And I should try to grow Kratky hops. You know, I would, but hops grow and they crawl too much. I don't have space for them to crawl. Do you prefer hydroponics or so? You know, soil gardening is always the best for me, but I also love to have options. So I love both. I love hydroponic. I love soil. You know, regardless of what people say about hydroponic not being organic and all that stuff. But trust me, I mean, you know exactly what goes into the plants you grow in hydroponic. It's probably better than what you can get in the stores that are not, you know, that are not sprayed with pesticides and stuff like that. So I would still prefer hydroponic, you know, and grown in soil at the same time. It's soil is always the best method, and hydroponic gives me options to grow in wintertime or grow things that I cannot grow in certain time of the year. So like in the wintertime, I'm not able to grow certain fruits like tomatoes and stuff like that. I take it inside and I have tomatoes. I've been having tomatoes like all winter because of hydroponic. So, you know, it's also the thing with hydroponic is it's going to teach you a lot about growing other plants, because if you can successfully grow in hydroponic and learn as you're doing it, you can apply that to your soil gardening, and and grow really beautiful vegetables. Oh, nice. Daydreamer, you just applied to work at hydroponic farm here in Texas. That is awesome. I mean, if you get the job, please let me know where it is. Maybe I'll swing by and visit and say hello. Or you can give me a tour of the hydroponic farm. I would love that. That is very exciting. I good luck and I hope you get that job. That would be so cool. Wow, is it abnormal for temperature to hit 120 in Phoenix? I think that's yeah, that's crazy. 120 degrees. Man, that is crazy. 120 degrees. I'm not sure if I've ever seen it here in Texas, but we got like 110 before, and it's and that is way too hot. Drew, thank you, my friend, for the donation. If you use a filter, purified water, ionized water in hydroponic, does it make a difference? So here's the thing, Drew. Your water has traces of elements in it, like calcium and all these other elements. If you use purified water, that means all of those elements doesn't exist. It's not there. It's been purified and taken out. So what that means is you have to mix your nutrients according to the mix of purified water. So you may have to use more calcium. You might have to use more of the macronutrients and the micronutrients. So there is a list that would tell you how to mix it, like hard water and soft water or purified water. You have to mix it exactly, because if you don't, then those traces of elements may not be there, and the plants may not get what it needs. Yeah. So I mean, if you have, I'm not sure. It works fine for me. Like, I just use water straight out of my faucet. A lot of people, what they're worried about is all of the other stuff that are in there, like chlorine and all that stuff. And it doesn't seem to cause too much of a problem when you're grown in hydroponic. Yes, it's probably best to test the water first and see what's it like. Yeah, like the ppm and all that. But yeah, you do have to, if you use purified water, you do have to mix it differently than you would do when you just use water, regular water. Yeah, it does depend on your tap water quality. But here in the US, I think our tap water, the quality is very good. Yes, it does. Chlorine breaks down when water is aerated. So what people do, like a lot of people that do fish tanks and stuff like that, they put water in a bucket and then they run the pump through it, the water air pump to it, and then just wait overnight, and then the chlorine will evaporate, and that should fix the problem. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people do that. Many people would let the water sit overnight with the air pump to get rid of the chlorine. But for me, I don't do any of those, because that's a little bit more work than I would like. So I just use water straight out of my tap, and as simple as that. I keep it as simple as possible. Gizmo, I have a Kratky white scorpion plant in Kratky method. Leaves are yellowing with brown spots at a rapid rate and dropping. Okay, and I replaced the same level. Dynagrow, CalMag, pH 6. Any ideas? Okay, so if your plant is turning yellow and with spots on them, that could be because if there's no pests, there's no diseases, then the only thing is because of nutrients lockout. So what happened in nutrient lockout is that it prevents the plant from taking up what it needs. And when it can't do that, it started to turn yellow. It had started to develop spots because it's not getting the phosphorus, it's not getting the calcium. it's not getting the magnesium. And then the leaves will eventually turn yellow, it drop off, turn to spot, and the plant will struggle a lot. So what happens in this case is that there's root problem. So what you can do is dump the nutrients out, just dump it completely, clean off the roots. If there's dead roots, clean it off. If there's brown roots, you can cut some off and make sure you clean it and make it all nice. You can use root restore or something like that to help bring the roots back, and mix a fresh batch of water, just water only, and let the plant run inside the fresh water for 24 hours to rinse off everything. And then once everything is clean, and then you can mix a half strength nutrients with the right amount of calcium, magnesium, and all that stuff, just half strength, and then let the plant back into it, and then it will slowly restore itself. But yeah, nutrients lockout would cause a lot of that problem. I hope that answered your question. Let's see. Nancy Pelosi, do I have any advice on growing citrus trees in hydroponics? I grew a I grew a lime in hydroponic for almost a year, and it grew really, really well. The only problem is that citrus can grow massive. And what that does is there's a lot more maintenance than I would like. You just have to constantly change out nutrients every 2 to 3 weeks, and then you got to just constantly do that. That's just more work than I would like. So I don't grow citrus or any fruit trees in hydroponic anymore because of the amount of work that is involved, unless you have like a massive container. So my friend Chris that lives in Norway, he grew a coffee tree in hydroponic, and what he does is he has a huge bucket, right, with a valve, and that valve will regulate the amount of water that goes in. So he always has a backup that feeds the huge reservoir anytime the level goes below the valve. So that if you can have a way to do that, have a constant feeder that would feed the nutrients back into the reservoir without having to change or having to add so much all the time, then that may work for citrus tree. So have a huge reservoir, have a valve, and also have something that constantly feed. Like when the tank goes low, yes, a backup tank. When the tank goes low, it automatically refill. So you have an automatic refill. That way, it is best for citrus or trees in general. But again, tree can get really massive, so it also going to take a long time. So if you have the time and energy to do that, it'll be nice. You can buy float valve. They sell like these little mini float valve that would also that triggers the refill anytime it drops, and you can do it that way. You just got your pepper seeds sprouted in a paper towel method. What is the best way to keep them going until they are ready for hydro? Put the sprouted seed inside a rock wool cube, inside a net cup to get them ready, and then they'll just grow that way in just plain water until like a week or two, where you can feed them half strength nutrients, and then after a few weeks you can put them into hydroponic. Uh, Ampere, what pump is quiet? I use the active aqua pump, active aqua, that's what it's called. And it's pretty quiet if you set it to the medium range, because there's a knob that allows you to do low, medium, and high. And at a medium, it is pretty quiet. I mean, it's not super quiet, but it's quiet enough for you to put near a bed and not, be annoyed by the noise. Blood sac. Should I have a barrier between a raised bed and the ground? It depends. If your raised bed is like under a foot high, then definitely you need to put a barrier because weeds will grow into your raised bed. But if you have a 2 feet or more raised beds, you can just dig out the grass, put a bunch of soil on top, and it is too much for the grass to grow through, and it would die. So it depends on how high your raised bed is. You may need a barrier and you may not. But I think if it's under a foot, I highly recommend putting a wheat barrier. Eric Smith, you didn't use enough Bloom or CalMag for your aero garden. Yeah, when you grow peppers, you in the aero garden, you're gonna have to supplement some CalMag because the regular aero garden nutrients lacks those nutrients in there. So if you have it, use it. What is my favorite nutrients for soil? Uh, are you asking about fertilizer or nutrients? Because normally I don't use nutrients in the soil. I do sometimes, but usually I don't. You hear my baby in the back, Krista? He's still he's still not wanting to go to sleep. It's his bedtime right now. I guess he's just not wanting to go to bed. F-22 Raptors. The Asian pears are doing amazing. You know what? Today I'm going to do an update, and then I may upload a video to show you the whole year progress from last November till now. I have a ton of fruits right now, like hundreds of fruits on my pear trees, and I have to prune them. I have to like pluck them off because the more fruits you have, the smaller they are, and not the quality is not as good. So I pruned so many pears off of my tree already, but I still have maybe 50 fruits on one pear tree, or maybe more. Your baby's in the jacuzzi. Wow, living the life. Yes, my soil garden is mostly organic. Yes, I use a lot of the compost that I make, but also usually when I feed the plants, I feed them with fish fertilizer, the Alaskan fish fertilizer. That seems to work the best for me. It doesn't take a lot of work. I just mix it into a gallon of water, and I give my plants a feeding every so often, and that's it throughout the season. The most important thing is to mix a good soil for your raised bed, for your beds. Just have a good mixture of soil that has all the nutrients in there beforehand, before you put the plant in, and then that should keep it going for a long time. And then once you need to feed, you just feed like simple like fish fertilizer, and you're all set. So I keep it very simple. How much CalMag per gallon do you supplement in the aero garden? I usually go between 3 milliliters to 5 milliliters in the aero garden per gallon. Not just the aero garden, but usually with everything. Depending on the size of your plant, 3 to 5 milliliter per gallon is good. If you've grown peppers and tomato and they're enormous, use 5 milliliter per gallon, and it's perfect. Also, when you mix CalMag with your nutrients, make sure you mix the CalMag first. So add water to a container, put in the CalMag first, mix it all up, leave it for a few minutes, and then mix the nutrients after that. That's the way it should be mixed. CalMag first. 2 teaspoons, that's 10 milliliter. Wow, that's a good amount. Um, Yeah, I normally go with 1 teaspoon. How much do I feed the melon? Same thing. I feed it 5 milliliter of CalMag when it start to put fruits, and also 5 milliliter of Dyna Grow or Dyna Bloom. If you have Dyna Bloom, once it start to bloom, you can change the bloom. Dyna Bloom 5 milliliter and CalMag 5 milliliters per gallon of water, and that's Yuki CalMag first, because if you mix it last, it could lock out the nutrients, and then the plants will not be able to get the proper those traces of elements that it needs. So it's weird. There's certain ways you have to mix it. So anytime you use CalMag, that should go in first. Especially if you're using the Flora series. If you're going with the Flora series, it has 3 parts, right? The micro, yeah, micro, the bloom, and the grow. So you mix those in order, but you have to add the CalMag first, and then you use the micro, and then you use the grow, and then you use the bloom in that exact order. So that's the reason why I stopped using the Flora series, because it's just too complicated. I mean, I don't like the 3 parts. I'm sure the 3 parts work best because you can like change out the quantity, sorry, the quantity of each, and then have your plants, dial in and feed it exactly what it needs. But I like to keep it simple, so I don't want to use 3 parts. I just use one part, and it works. Hang, thank you so much for the donation. Yeah, you're feeding my bad habit. The same thing with Brad. Every time he comes on, he's like, "I'm donating to your whiskey collection." One of these days, I need to have Brad come over to drink some whiskey with me. But yes, thank you so much. Cheers, everybody. Happy Saturday. Yes, the AeroGuard nutrient works great, but once the pepper plants begin to bloom, uh, adding bloom and CalMag is perfect. It does help. I use it. That's what I usually tell people. You can use the nutrients throughout the entire cycle of the plant, but there is a reason why they have a bloom and a grow. So if you use it appropriately, your plants would do the best. So again, you can use grow the entire cycle, or you can use bloom the entire cycle of your plants, but that's not recommended. If you have grow, use it during vegetative stage, and then if you have bloom, switch to bloom once it starts to bloom. So and then once it blooms, it also requires like certain trace elements like the CalMag. The CalMag will help like tomatoes and peppers. Like what happens with tomatoes is they have blossom and rot because sometimes it may lack calcium. So adding calcium actually will help the fruiting process, also help the fruit stick, and also will help the fruit from rotting. So yes, it's always a good idea. Would I ever try aquaponics? Probably not, because I don't have the space, and I think the wife would kill me if I add fish to the backyard. She's already having problem with my vines and stuff like that. So that's why I'm not able to grow hops. I want to grow hops, but I'm not able to. One day when I buy a greenhouse, maybe I buy a piece of land somewhere in the countryside and retire there, and then I'll add aquaponics to it. How do you maximize indoor grow space under grow light? I was thinking of using 2-liter bottles as pots instead of wide. You can maximize the inside grow space by using the square pots. Like square, you can stack them up easier than the round. Also, it depends on what you're growing. Um, you can also like put like levels, ladders, or like levels, and that can maximize your grow space. You can build those hydroponics systems that has like a PVC. They call it NFT. NFT saves a lot more space, and you can grow more plants. I don't have a greenhouse right now. Oh man, mealybugs are really crazy. Is it you can buy these sprays that are made for mealybugs, and if you don't have it, I use soap and neem oil. That worked really well for the mealybugs. The scaly bugs are the tough ones right here. I had a indoor tree one time that I bought, and somehow it came with these scaly bugs. Man, those things are really hard to get rid of because they have this protective layer, and they're so flat. They almost look like the bark of the plant itself. So yeah, mealy bugs, just spray them with oil and soap. It sticks to them. They'll die. I should grow those cucamelons. Yeah, you know what? A few friends want to send me those seeds to grow, but I haven't gotten around to growing it. The reason is because I saw his plant, and once I saw it, I was like, I'm not growing that thing. It is enormous. It grows like crazy. So that's the reason I haven't grown cucamelons yet, because it grows out of control. If Ken Garner, if one were to drop out of the sky, would you have somewhere to set it up? I don't know. I mean, I guess depends on the size of the greenhouse, and it's so hot here that even if I have a greenhouse, I have to have like all of the windows open. Simple, simple, beautiful. Have I ever thought about going on to the hot one show, the hot shows, the hot ones? Man, that would be amazing. You know what? I watch that show all the time. It is a very fun show, and yes, I would definitely be in to go into the hot ones. But I'm not famous enough to for them to invite someone like me. I think they only invite famous people. Brad, hello, Brad. We were just talking about you. Welcome, Brad. Good to see you. Yeah, the Hot Ones is an amazing show, and I think they only have celebrities and all the people that are really super famous. So someone like me would probably never make it there. Have I tried the chocolate primo tally? No, but I tried the regular primo tally, and that thing is hot. Yes, it is very, very hot. Primo is a really pretty plant, guys. If you have ever grown a primo, they're very beautiful. I just love the way they grow. Tamara Butler, you're very famous to us. Oh, thank you. That would Drew. I'm the Elon Musk of the pepper community. That is funny. Thank you, guys. I'm famous in your book. Simple, yes. Thank you very much. Maybe if I make it to the Hot One show by miracle, I will make sure to shout out to everybody on the chat right here. Do you prefer soil or hydro for growing peppers? You know what? I don't prefer either method. I love to grow hydro and soil for both. Right now, I'm growing a lot of peppers in soil, but also a lot of peppers in hydroponic. There's some over here. I'm gonna show you something, guys. Look at this. So I just started seeds a few weeks ago. Again, you see, I use these containers, and I just cut the holes on the side so water can escape, and I put seeds in a rock wool, and that's how I start my peppers. These are, what is this? I forgot what this is. This is my newest cross. Yes, this is the F2 of the ones that I just grew last year. It's gonna be awesome. But yeah, I grow peppers all the time throughout the year, and without hydro, I would not be able to create all of the crosses that I have created over the years. Uh, the reason I have so many different varieties that I created was because of hydro. If you grow peppers or if you grow peppers inside or tomato inside, it's so easy for you to crossbreed the peppers because it is in a controlled climate, and your success rate is much higher than outside. So if you ever want to cross peppers, try it in hydroponic. Grow it inside in hydroponic, and then cross them because your success rate is going to be really high. Yes, and hydro will extend your growing season because you can grow all year. And that is the amazing thing about hydro. There's no limit to what you can do. If you have space, you have the right tools and stuff like that, you can grow all year long. How do you get away with not checking pH in some of your projects? I have to check pH once a week for my Kratky DWC. Chris, I don't know. I used to check pH all the time. Like every few days, I have to check pH. So one day I decided, like, hey, what if I don't check pH and just not check it? And then it worked just fine. And from there on, I have never checked pH again. I just mix my nutrients, and the plants just grow. So my tomato plant, I did a tomato taste test video 2 days ago, and that exact tomato plant never check pH, never check EC, never check anything. Just put 5 milliliter of Dyna-Grow, and then I started to add CalMag because the plant was starting to have yellow leaves, and the CalMag really helped with keeping the leaves green and keeping the fruits nice. So yeah, I don't check pH anymore. Johnny Scoville was talking good about me the other day on his channel. That's awesome. I love Johnny. I met Johnny in person. So yeah, we took pictures together. So it's awesome. Johnny's a cool guy. If you meet him in person, he's the same as you saw in the video. He's exactly like that, full of energy, really down to earth. And if you say you know him from his videos, he'll come and greet and say hello. I even bought his hot sauce, and I bought the very first bottle of his hot sauce line. So I am the first customer of Johnny's hot sauce line. Chris, my water, I think I have very hard water. It's around, if I check the pH of my water right out of the faucet, I think it's near 8 pH of 8, around 8. And when I add the Dyna-Grow to the water, I think it drops it down to like 6.5 or something like that. I don't remember. When you add CalMag, do you add it every time at regular interval or just when you need them? I add CalMag every time when the plant is really big and producing fruits. So anytime I need to add nutrients, I add CalMag and then the grow to the mix to help the fruiting process. But if I don't have CalMag, like in the past, in the past I didn't add CalMag because I didn't have any. But CalMag is good. What brand is good? Let me see. Oh man, I forgot what brand. I think I used the guys. Let me check. Which brand do I use? I okay. It's the Botanic Care. Yeah, that's it. Botanic Care. However you say it. That's the brand that I use. I've used it over the year. The reason I love the Botanic Care is it's it actually has a really pleasant smell. It smells really nice. But I have really good results with using that. So I just stick to what is good. So over the years, that's exactly what I use, and it has always worked for me. Brian from London. Hello, Brian. Thanks for joining us. Obsessive Gardener. Hello, my friend. Good to have you here. Dylan, you said modern hydro nutrients usually have pH buffer in them already. I didn't know that. That's good to know. I had no idea they had pH buffer in them. Do you top certain hot peppers but not others? We have serranos, Peter, cayenne, Hungarian wax. Kids won't eat the super hot ones. Um, you know, I think I mentioned this many times. I do top peppers, but not because of if they not because of potentially yielding more, anything like that. I usually top them to keep them under control. Also, like right now, I have a few plants that are like maybe under 6 inches and it's fruiting already. And so what happens is if it starts to fruit, the plant will slow down in the growth. So because of that, I pinched the top off to remove the flowers. And that kind of set the plants back a little bit, but also allows the bottom shoots to grow out. And that's the reason why I top, because I don't want them to produce early. I don't want any flowers. So that's the reason I top. But also another reason I top is sometimes I put them under my weak grow lights, and they become really stretchy and really tall, and sometimes they fall over like this, and so I cut it in half to keep it nice and strong when I put them outside. So all right, guys. My baby is awake now, so I have to go. It was fun. It was good always to chat with you guys. So we'll try to do this again next week. Answer more questions. So thank you for joining the 100 people that is in the room right now, and hope you guys will have a wonderful weekend. It's May 1st, so go out and do some gardening, and I will see you maybe next week. Bye.